There's a state of mind prized above all in moments of chaos, a calm so profound that it renders the storm powerless. It's a skill that seems almost supernatural, yet it was the lifeblood of an ancient warrior class whose stories echo through time. This state is called Fudoshin, the immovable mind, a concept that embodies unshakable composure even when the world crumbles around you. Today, you're about to embark on a journey to understand and cultivate this rare mental fortress. Have you ever watched someone remain perfectly calm while others panic? It's as if they're anchored to an invisible core that no external force can move. This is not luck or a genetic gift, it's discipline honed through centuries of practice and philosophy. The samurai, Japan's legendary warriors, didn't just wield swords, they mastered their minds. Their ability to maintain Fudoshin was the secret behind their unmatched effectiveness and resilience. Picture the battlefield of feudal Japan, chaos everywhere, clashing steel, thunderous war cries, and the ever-present shadow of death. Yet in the eye of this storm stood the samurai, an unyielding presence. His mind was like a mountain, unmoved by the winds of fear or distraction. This wasn't born out of ignorance of danger, but because he had trained himself to be immovable, grounded in a mental discipline that allowed him to act with clarity and precision when others fell apart. This story begins with Kenji, a modern-day executive overwhelmed by the relentless pressures of his career and personal life. Meetings, deadlines, family responsibilities, it felt like a relentless storm that threatened to engulf him daily. Despite his success, Kenji found himself spiraling into anxiety and frustration. He was constantly reactive, his emotions swinging wildly with every challenge, leaving him drained and unfocused. One evening, while browsing the shelves of a dusty bookstore, he stumbled upon a small volume about the samurai and their philosophy of Fudoshin. Intrigued, he bought it on impulse, hoping to find a sliver of peace in its pages. Kenji's first encounter with Fudoshin was unsettling. The idea of an immovable mind sounded almost impossible in his fast-paced life. How could anyone remain calm when crises erupted non-stop, when his phone buzzed with urgent messages every few minutes? Yet, as he read about the samurai's mental training, how they cultivated detachment from panic and sharpened their focus, something stirred within him. It wasn't a quick fix, but a call to transform his relationship with chaos. What made Fudoshin so powerful was its root in acceptance and preparation. The samurai didn't fight against the storm, they became the mountain that weathered it. This mental state wasn't about suppressing emotions or pretending nothing was wrong. Instead, it was a profound discipline to recognize fear and distraction, then let them pass like clouds without disturbing the stillness beneath. Kenji realized that his reactive nature was fueled by a fragmented mind, constantly pulled in multiple directions, trying to control everything at once. The samurai taught him that true power comes not from controlling the external world, but mastering the internal one. Fudoshin was the foundation of this mastery, a state where emotions didn't dictate actions, and clarity emerged from calm. Yet, the path to this immovable calmness was not easy. Kenji's first attempts were riddled with frustration. Sitting quietly and trying to still his racing thoughts felt unnatural, almost like fighting against himself. But the samurai's philosophy offered a guide: discipline is not about perfection but persistence. The mountain doesn't cease to be a mountain because storms blow against it, it simply endures. Similarly, Kenji needed to endure his mental storms without surrendering to them. One of the samurai's techniques was meditation combined with visualization. They would imagine themselves as an unyielding force, anchored deeply to their core. Kenji adopted this practice, setting aside moments each day to sit in silence and picture himself as that mountain, unmovable and grounded. At first, his mind rebelled, flitting from worries about work to personal doubts. But with consistent practice, he began to sense a subtle shift. The chaos outside no longer pulled him into panic, instead, he observed it with detachment. This detachment was not indifference but a heightened awareness. Kenji noticed that when he allowed his mind to be swept away by every crisis, he became less effective and more exhausted. But when he responded from a place of calm, his decisions were clearer, and his energy conserved. Fudoshin was less about avoiding the storm and more about choosing how to meet it, with steady breath and unshakable focus. The samurai also taught the importance of preparation. Fudoshin wasn't a spontaneous state born in the heat of battle, it was cultivated long before the fight. Kenji began applying this lesson to his daily life. Just as the samurai trained their bodies and minds daily to face any challenge, he committed to regular practices that reinforced his mental resilience. This included mindful breathing, journaling to process emotions, and deliberate pauses before reacting to stressful situations. One evening, Kenji faced a moment that tested his newfound calm. A major project at work fell apart unexpectedly, and his team looked to him for guidance. In the past, he would have reacted with panic or frustration, fueling a downward spiral. But this time, he felt the mountain within, the immovable mind. He took a steady breath, acknowledged the setback without judgment, and calmly outlined a plan to address the issues. His composed response steadied the team and turned a potential crisis into an opportunity for growth. This experience confirmed that Fudoshin was not a distant ideal but a practical tool for navigating life's storms. The samurai's immovable mind was available to anyone willing to cultivate it. Kenji's journey had only begun, but the first step, a commitment to inner calm amidst outer chaos, had transformed his approach to life and leadership. Understanding Fudoshin demands a shift in identity. It's not a technique you apply temporarily, it's a way of being. The samurai didn't simply learn to stay calm, they became the embodiment of calmness itself. This transformation requires surrendering fragmented responses and embracing a centered presence that no external force can shake. If you felt overwhelmed by life's unpredictability, if panic and distraction pull you away from your best self, the path of Fudoshin offers a way out. It's a discipline that calls you to stand firm like the mountain, to meet chaos not with resistance but with unyielding presence. But be warned, this journey is not comfortable. It requires facing your inner turbulence, confronting fears, and practicing relentlessly. The reward, however, is a mind so steady that it commands respect, a calm so profound it becomes your greatest strength. As you consider this path, ask yourself, what does it mean to be immovable in a world that never stops moving? How will you begin to anchor your mind amidst the storms of your life? The samurai's secret awaits those willing to seek it, not as a fleeting skill but as a lifelong transformation. The immovable mind is more than a concept, it is a way forward when everything else falls apart.